today is really all about reducing all of this to this. All right, welcome back everybody to On 2 Feet. I've just been away for, 3 weeks doing some pretty intense lab work. So I'm finally back home and I'm excited to get out on the motorcycle and start really getting serious about some summer trips. But one of the first things that I need to do before I can really feel comfortable going out on anything long or overnight or even multi-day is to really sort out my kit. And what I mean by that is sort out my tools, all of the things that I want to carry with me sort of permanently on the bike, in case I have any sort of minor breakdown, flat tires, a little bit of maintenance here and there, just things that I might need, first aid kits, etc., etc. So just like with backpacking and long distance through hiking, you always start with everything, at least I do, and then I whittle it down to what I really need, the essentials, because there's no way I'm carrying all of this. There's so much redundancy here and just unnecessary tools and things that if I run into a problem where I need some of these things, then I'm going to be in a lot more trouble than something I can tinker with my little toolkit. So, all right. So before we cut things down, we trim things down, I wanted to step through everything I've got here and the mentality I have behind why I've got it on the table. Because there are some things in here that may not seem very intuitive, but given my background sort of in through hiking and long distance hiking and running, there's some things that I thought of that maybe aren't at the top of other people's lists. And likewise, there are some things on here that I'm including just because I've had my own issues with the bike and want to have some, I guess, a little bit of safety and redundancy in certain things. So let's start over here on this side of the table. What I've got here are just a couple of little pouches. So this is going to be what I put a lot of these things in. You know, I'll have my primary toolkit, but then there's some things that I'm going to want to carry that won't be in the toolkit, maybe like a spare spark plug or a little bit like a little tape measure or some electrical tape or something like that I want to have, but I don't want to put in my tool roll. So a couple pouches, and what you see here, this is just some rock straps. So this is what I'll use to strap down my big duffel on the back of the bike. I've got here a whole bunch of zip ties, so obviously I'm going to put a bunch of these in my toolkit. It's always good to carry some zip ties. I've got multiple packages of Loctite. I don't know how I ended up with so many. I've got 242 and 243. Couple of lock stacks. These are great waterproof baggies. I may have these somewhere on the bike or have certain things in there. Like right now I've got my documentation, my registration, my insurance, etc. in a lock sack bag under the seat in the little compartment. So that's what that is. I've got 3 different types of chain, like travel chain loops here. You know, on my old crappy scooter, I just carry a tiny WD-40 just because it's cheap and I don't really care all that much about the scooter. But with the motorcycle, you know, it's not really a good lubricant. It's a decent chain cleaner, but not really a lubricant. So I've got a couple of different chain loops. I'll probably carry, depending on how long I'm gone for. If I'm gone for just a weekend, I won't bring anything. But if I'm gone for a week or something, I might bring some chain lube. So that's what those are. I've got some JB Weld. I'll probably take these out, put them in my little spare bag. Got some nitrile gloves for if I have to change a tire or do some chain work and I really don't want to get super messy. I've got a little multimeter here, which I'll probably carry with me for any sort of electrical problems. What you see up here, this is just a container of earplugs, so definitely carry some earplugs with me, some spare sets. This is a emergency Bivvy. I'm not sure if I'm going to carry this. If I'm carrying my tent, I'm obviously not, I don't really need this, but this is a really great thing to have. I carried this with me on my long trail speed hike, and basically this is what I used to sleep in instead of a sleeping bag, because it was so lightweight and small and packed so small that I just would throw this out and crash in it. Similarly, I've got a little 99-cent emergency poncho, which won't really be that functional on a motorcycle. You know, I've got Gore-Tex gear and such, so I'm not quite sure why that's on the table either. I have a water bottle that's got one of the inline filters in it, which is great if I just need to get some water at a campsite. So I probably will bring this because it treats water just right from the bottle. I've got a little first aid kit, which I'll carry on the bike. I've also got a tiny little mini first aid kit, which I might hide somewhere on the bike as a backup. It's always good to have a backup. This has got some matches in it. It's got some water treatment pellets. It's just good to have a little extra. This is just a battery charger pack. This will probably go in my tank bag. Tire maintenance. So I've got tire irons, or the bead pros, which are break the bead, but they also act as sort of decent spoons. I really hope I never have to use these, but obviously I need some kind of tire spoons to change a tire should that happen. And along those lines, I've got spare tubes, so rear, front. These are just standard duty. They're not the heavy duty ones. I do have heavy duty tubes in the garage that when I replace my tires the next time around, I'm going to put on. For inflation, I've got a small pump. I thought about just bringing my little tiny bicycle pump because, I mean, technically that works. And it's way smaller, but it would take so long to pump up a tire to the pressure that needed. So I'll probably just bring this little toolkit, and it plugs right into my SAE port on the bike. I've also got some rim strips. It's always good to have some spare rim strips. If you do have to change the tire, you might as well change the rim strip as well. Also, I've got one of these bead buddies. Not sure, but if I may throw that sort of in my tire kit. What else do we have here? I'm gonna skip the tools for a second. Staying on the tire maintenance, I bought one of these little tire repair kits. It comes with, it comes with a scuffer. It's so you can patch a tube, basically, vulcanizing fluid, some spare valve stems, valve core replacements, and it just comes in this nice little package. I don't know if I'm gonna bring this or not. I mean, if I'm bringing a spare tube, do I really need to bring a patch kit? Probably not, but that's what this is. Right, obviously we've got the owner's manual, got a couple of rags, a small little hammer. I got the idea of getting one of these, some YouTube video I watched where someone was going through their toolkit, and they said that they actually use this a lot to like bang out dents and stuff. I really don't want to be banging on my brand new motorcycle, but such as it is. This is my little helmet lock for my helmet, which obviously I use to lock my helmet to the bike. Tiny little flashlight. Over here we've got several Allen tools. These are basically, geez, I've got 3 of them. A bunch of these are from my bike. I've got this Crank Brothers one that, it's just one particular version. I've got this little mini one, which is actually quite nice. It's got all the Allen sizes on it that I need, and then I've got this sort of bigger one, which is a little heftier, that I used to use on my bike, and it's just really nice. It's just a nice way to carry all your Allen wrenches, so you don't have to carry all these individual ones that come in the toolkit, like just stray Allen wrenches that floating around. So I've got a little tiny Leatherman. It's just like a backup Leatherman. It's just so tiny and small. I'll probably carry this in my tank bag. A little magnetic pointer, some electrical tape, a couple of different tape measures, which are always good to have. And then I've got, just on the table here, again, I probably won't necessarily carry this, but I've got a spare Iridium spark plug and then a spare relay. This is the thing that I had trouble with on the bike, so I ordered a spare one. And I'll probably just throw it in my extras bag. So that's that. And so what that leaves basically is the tools. So down here is the the standard toolkit that comes with the Himalayan. And this is everything that it comes with. It comes with just this one wrench, spark plug tool, the larger pieces here, wrenches for changing the tire, which I've actually used to take the tire off. This real janky little screwdriver that's super low quality, but you use it to, you know, to use this to screw off the spark plug. And I know I had to use that when I was putting the tire back on. I've got a tire pressure gauge, one there, a couple of zip ties, and a little tiny mini crescent wrench, which is really actually quite good to have. This will probably go in my tank bag as well. And then the big guy in the middle is one of these cruise toolkits, and you know it's quite hefty. It's a tool roll, which is nice, so you can fold it up and roll it up, and it actually fits in a standard size tool tube, and it's just kind of nice how it all wraps up. But you know, looking at this toolkit it's a bit overkill. So what I'm probably going to do is mix and match and make a kind of more efficient toolkit. So that's the plan. That's everything I've got on the table here. Out on the bike, I've obviously got my registration and all that, all the documents, but I've taken everything off, and what I'm going to be using to fill some space on the bike is I've got these 2 bags. This is a small tail bag, which I had all of the tire stuff in, the spare tubes and the pump, and everything fit in there actually quite nicely. So this was kind of like my tire maintenance bag. I'm not sure if that's how I'm going to do it, if I'm going to put my tools in here or whatever, but it's a really nice bag, and it's got a hard bottom. It sits right on the little rear rack of the Himalayan. And then I've got a tank bag here, which is really nice so far. I've used it a few times. It's a Moto. I forget what the model number is, but it's got all these different compartments in it, which is really nice. And you know, this is going to be sort of my backpack / tank bag that I'll use to put a lot of this stuff in. So that's the plan. Let's get to it. Okay, I've got everything reduced down to 2 bags on the table here, and then a couple of different things I've got set up on the bike. So I'm going to start with what I got on the table here to show you how I've got things broken down, and then we'll go out into the garage and I'll show you how I dealt with all of the other parts that I managed to assemble. Let me show you one other thing first. This is a box of all the eliminated goodies. So spare tools, spare bits, spare parts, everything that I did not use from the table. So this is my tank bag. What I've got in here from the table is I've got some spare earplugs. I've got 2 small tools in here just to have on me. I've got my small little pocket Leatherman, and I've got a small little Allen key with all the sizes on it. Just always good to have, you know, just for tightening things up. In here, I've got a couple of waterproof baggies just because they're good to have, and some zip ties. I have zip ties in my toolkit as well, but just a couple of spares. And then in here, I've got that little tiny first aid kit just to have one on me, and I've got my power cell, my bank, and then that little poncho, which, you know, I don't know, it doesn't weigh anything, it takes up no space. So that's what I got in here, and then of course my water bladder is in here, and then, you know, just random other things I'll put in here, and I've got my map bag on the top. This is my tail bag. And what I've got set up in here is basically all of my tire repair setup. So it fits perfectly, it's nice and tight, it's heavy. But what I've got, I decided not to bring to basically pack that repair kit, and instead just go with spare tubes. So figure if I'm gonna replace a tube, I don't need to worry about patching. So if we open this up, you can see what the way I've got it set up is I've got a rag, and then I've got both tubes, the rim strips. I've got the little bead buddy, and then my pump. And then I've also got a spare tire gauge, and it, you know, it seals right up, fits perfectly. It is a sweet little setup. So this basically will free up a ton of room in my panniers. Basically, my panniers are empty right now, so I can use them for camping stuff, cooking stuff, clothes, food. Probably have one pannier all food. My setup is going to be the 2 panniers, this on the very end of the tail, and then my one big North Face duffel bag, which I've used multiple Antarctic seasons. The thing is a beast. So that's everything I've got here. What we're going to do now is we're going to go out to the garage, and I'll show you how I dealt with my tools and all those little extra bits that I'm carrying and what I decided to do. So let's go out to the garage. All right, well, we're in the garage now, and I wanted to show you the solution that I've come up with for basically everything, and the bike is pretty much ready to go. And it's got me excited. You can tell I'm really excited. I mean, I had this vision in my mind all these years ago of sort of this decked out adventure bike, and I'm looking at it. So let me spin the camera around and you guys can get a look. She's all ready to go, basically. Let me walk you through really quick what I did with the rest of the stuff that was on the table in there. So I've got, this is just my old grad school duffel. It's waterproof. The thing's bomb proof, man. So I've got it just rock strapped down right now. It's just filled with just nonsense stuff right now just to get a feel for it, but I'll probably come up with a better way of strapping that down. But mostly I just wanted to show you guys that I've still got room on this back rack for that little rack bag, and then I've got plenty of room to sit, so it should be good to go. What I did with the rest of the stuff on the table, I've got pretty much nothing in the panniers right now. In this pannier, I've got one of those little storage bags with just a bunch of little random tools in it, and it basically just sits all the way at the bottom and tucks into the corner. This side, I've got nothing except for, I think I've got my rain pants or my raincoat in there. But what I did with all the tools and everything else that was on the table that I didn't get in either my tank bag or in that tail bag was I installed these 2 tool tubes on the back of the bike. I mean, they're just plastic tubes. I rigged them up against the frame, and they're super solid, very steady, and they're not going anywhere. And basically in this side here, I've got my tool roll with all my tools. So that's nice and convenient. And then over here, I've got just a few extra things, like I've got a rag and my lube, my chain lube, and then my tire wrenches there. So it's just really convenient. And like I said, these are really solid. They wiggle a little bit, but yeah. So that's what I've got going on. And I'll have the tank bag up front with the with most of my just day stuff in it when I'm riding. And I've fully accessorized the bike now. There's nothing else on my wish list. But yeah, look at that. I mean, it's looking great. I'm so stoked right now. I'm gonna take it out tomorrow, all decked out, and just see how kind of get a feel for how it feels and how the weight is distributed. And yeah, man, I can't believe I've made it to the point where I had this big long list of things that I wanted to do to the bike and get for the bike and accessories and mods and such. And I looked at that basically today. I looked at it a few hours ago and was like, I'm done. I mean, I basically got everything I wanted. Yeah, boy, I'm really excited. So anyway, thanks for sticking around through this really long video. And I hope this was helpful. I've had a lot of fun kind of sorting this all out, figuring out how I'm going to do this. And yeah, I'll do an accessories video sometime next week and show you just everything that I put on the bike, the things that I like, the things I kind of wish I didn't get were essentially a waste of money. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Take care. And of course, be safe. See you guys.